these two do a very good job of breaking down some specifics about a hot button issue right now to let you know if you stand to benefit from something like this. Watch this.
What are the income limits for the big beautiful bill, and how is this going to work in reality? It looks like 160 per individual. This is not joint, this is not shared, it's per individual. And it's not AGI. This is earned income. So if your earned income is over 160, that income will not qualify. So if I make $180,000 this year, will I get to write off the overtime up to the 160?
No, the income limit is 160 per individual. So if you're married, each of you have to make less than that 160. If you are married, you have to file as jointly, and both people need to have social security number.
We really want to point out is that 20% rule is gone.
Yes.
So that was my biggest beef with the very first version. The second version that was in the big beautiful bill was already gone, but I do want to reiterate the 20% rule is gone. Thankfully, it lets you write it all
of your
off.
overtime. So we've gotten a lot of questions whether or not they can go ahead and claim that deduction if they still go standard, or do they have to itemize? The answer is either one. So you can file as standard deduction, you can file as itemized, you can still claim that deduction, which is really nice.
You cannot own more than 5% of the company that's paying you the overtime. So if you own more than 5% and you thought you were going to pay yourself a whole lot of overtime, I may have had that idea. Not going to work, man.
Not going to work. Another thing, this is set to expire December 31st, 2028. It begins January 1st, 2025, so it goes into effect this year. Whenever we file our taxes next year, that's whenever we get to see this change implemented, but it does expire at the end of 2028. So if it does not renew, we only have those 3 years that we can kind of take advantage of the no tax on overtime.
What about 1099? What about people that get paid by the mile? Things like that. It doesn't count, guys. The way the bill's written is very specific. It is 2.5 times overtime. I hope this clears up a few of the questions. Obviously, this bill got voted by one vote on Wednesday night. It went to the Senate. I don't expect it's going to make it out of the Senate without some kind of changes. So we'll see how it plays out. Stick around. We'll try and make some more videos along the way.
So as constituted, the no tax on overtime would apply if you're married, if both you and your spouse made under 160. If either one of you make over 160 in a year, not adjusted gross income, that's just your income. The no tax on overtime does not count for you. You don't get to write your taxes, your overtime taxes off. Sorry. It's for 3 years. It's temporary. If you're 1099, if you're an over-the-road truck driver that gets paid by the mile, it doesn't count. You guys don't get any of that stuff. They said that they saw that they read that the 20% cap was done away with. What the 20% cap was, if you qualify to write your overtime off, if you make less than 160 and you're a time and a half employee, not a 1099 or a driver or anything of that nature, then you can claim up to 20% of your overtime. They say that they see that's gone. I didn't see that was gone, but we'll assume that that's gone for just a moment. So, do you make less than 160? This is how you determine if you're going to qualify if it passes. Do you make less than 160? If you're married, do you both make less than 160? Are you a time and a half employee, not a 1099 or a contractor? Do you not own more than 5% of the company? Then, if so, you could possibly be in a position where you could write some of your overtime off. Once again, this now has to head to the Senate, where it has a tougher road to hoe as far as getting the votes to pass it. But we'll see what the Senate version comes out looking like.